Hi guys. So I recognize that I am wearing the same shirt that I wear very often in my videos for some reason. It is my favorite shirt, so bear with me here. But I wanted to actually talk about something that came up for me yesterday that I've been thinking about. I was watching a video. I cannot remember who it was by or even what platform I saw it on, honestly, but it was geared towards first responders, and they were talking about infidelity and how, that just adds more stress. And a lot of the comments were saying like, hey, like, I'm a law enforcement officer and it's the spouses at home that do the cheating. And I'm sitting there like, well, I think it's kind of equal. I don't know if there's any like research studies on that, if we have any statistics or anything like that, but I've known a lot of first responders and military in my lifetime, and I can say that very many of them were not faithful to their spouses or their, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever at home. And I have a theory. Now, this is not an excuse whatsoever, but I think that part of the response to always being under this negative stress, right? Like whether they have PTSD or not, the course of their job, and this can be generalized to other people who have very highly stressful jobs, right? Air traffic controllers have like the most stressful job on earth. I believe it's still considered that. So this can go for people like that as well, right? The Wall Street, whatever. Anyway, not the point. Point is that you have this high level of stress that is pretty negative. You have these adrenaline rushes that are almost always negative. When you're in law enforcement, or you're a firefighter or an EMT, or in the military and out in like a combat zone, your spikes of adrenaline are usually when you're responding to something not so positive. So my theory is that two things happen. One, and not saying that infidelity is a positive thing, right? But it can call up more positive feelings because you're connecting with somebody else, and you're having sex or whatever, you're getting away with something. It's more within your control, and so you're feeling less out of control like you would at work. And you can also choose whether or not to engage in that type of activity. So the control is all with you. And the second thing is getting into these like financial holes where, a lot of times people spread themselves way too thin buying toys, right? I'm sure we all can think of the person who is always getting another motorcycle or another boat or a bigger, better, faster version of what they already have, doing house improvements, buying different houses, like all of these different things, because they need that, those positive endorphins of doing this thing, having this stuff. And so by that way, they kind of get into a financial hole oftentimes, and then have to do more overtime, and then therefore expose themselves to more stress and the more likelihood of getting into a traumatic kind of engagement or situation, and therefore then also continuing to do these things, whether that be, stretching themselves financially or stretching themselves emotionally. There's also a thrill, like with an infidelity, of getting caught, and then also the thrill in not getting caught. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin. So it's not just limited to, the spouse is at home all the time by themselves and they have nothing else to do, so they're going to cheat. It's also that the first responder can be thrill-seeking in that way. And so it's, again, not an excuse, but could be an explanation. So now that you know, you can do better.